Hey everyone, today I just wanted to go over a sink faucet. We moved into our home and the faucet has the cold and the hot water switched, and so we're just going to be switching it back to the way it should be today. I'll go ahead and clean everything out from under the sink and then show you how we do it. So now that I've got everything cleaned out, I'm just looking at it and it looks like, I'll see if I can flip this around and show you. So it looks like the supply lines go through this cabinet, probably over here to the other sink. So we'll just have to go over there to turn off the valve. But basically what I'm going to be doing is just these gray lines coming up, these supply lines. I'm going to switch from that side to the other side and just flop them so the cold water goes to cold and hot water goes to hot. Should be pretty simple. So here's the valves here. One goes to the one sink faucet there, and then like I said, the other one routes through the cabinet over to the one that I'm switching today to make the hot and the cold on the right sides. So we're just gonna turn these, and then I'm pretty sure it's these copper pipes that go to the other side, but just to make sure, I'll turn on the faucet over there after turning these off, just to make sure that the water's not running, so when I unscrew everything I don't get water spraying everywhere. Alright, we got it turned off, so now we'll just turn these on and see if any water comes. No water coming out, so that's a good sign. That means we got it turned off properly. So we'll go ahead and unscrew these and switch them around. Now one more thing to note real quick before we start unscrewing everything is in these lines, there's still going to be some water trapped in them even though we turned off the water. Just water gets trapped in the lines. And so when you unscrew it, there's going to be some water that pours out. So it's best to have like a towel or a bucket nearby so you can clean up when the water drips. So I just wanted to make a little note here and apologize as I was reviewing this and editing and putting all these clips together. I realized when I was underneath the sink unhooking everything and switching the lines that I accidentally bumped the bucket. In a lot of the video you can't see anything, so I cut out a lot of those portions, so if it seems kind of choppy or like we missed something, it's probably because the bucket blocked everything and you couldn't see. So since I cut that out, I just wanted to give a brief overview of what I'm doing here. And basically all you need to do is you unscrew the two nuts at the end of the supply lines, pull the lines loose if they're still stuck on the ends, and just a kind of a note again, you'll have water that comes out of those because water gets stuck in the lines. So if you can try and get it inside a bucket, that's good. It's not a lot of water, so sometimes if I miss the bucket or if I don't have one, I'll just clean it up with a towel afterwards. But once you get the two lines loose, you just switch them to be on the other sides and use those same nuts to tighten them back onto the faucet. And I use my hands to get it finger tight, and then I go back with the wrench to tighten it all the way, just because it's pretty cramped up in there, so using the wrench is hard to turn it very far. A lot of little turns to tighten them all the way. So anything you can do with your hands helps a lot. So I'll just leave you to watch the rest of this, and I'll try and find some good background songs to listen to until this is done. Alright, so we got them all switched around. You'll notice as I did that, some water came out and spilled around. So I'm just going to take the towel and clean up. A good amount of it did fall in the bucket, so that's good. But we'll still have to clean up. So in just a second, I'll turn the valves and we'll see if it's leaking. Alright, here's the moment we've been waiting for. We'll see if it leaks. So these valves are multi-turn supply line valves. I'm not actually a huge fan of the multi-turn. They have some quarter-turn ones that actually are really nice because you don't have to sit here and turn the valve a bunch of times. It just is that quarter turn and everything turns on, and quarter turn everything turns off. It's a little bit quicker. I just think it's a nicer design, better valve. But these are what came with the house, so this is what we use. So we do have water running, so it seems to be working just fine. We turn off the one side, it still runs. Turn off both sides, it stops. This side works. So everything seems to be working properly. We turn them off. Take a look down here. Let me get the flashlight. Nothing's wet down here, so no leaks. Take a look at the lines. Sometimes water, if it's a really slow leak, will drip down the lines. So you just look at the lines, see if they're wet. They're not. They're all dry. So now we'll take a look. Just straight up at those nuts. Nothing seems to be wrong. They look like they're not dripping. Seem pretty good. So everything seems to be working properly, and so that's really all you have to do. It's all switched now. I guess we can test real quick. We'll just turn on the hot water and see if it's actually hot. Make sure we accomplished what we wanted to get done. But yeah, that's really it. I usually will leave it, just nothing in the cupboard for a couple hours. Come back in a couple hours, make sure there's no drips or leaks. Check again, just like we did. And then I'll put it all away and we call it good. But yeah, that's how you change the supply lines. Really easy. If you ever have a sink that's the hot and cold is switched, you can just switch it back really easy. If your supply line ever breaks, you know where those valves are underneath the sink. Just turn the water off at those valves and then you can replace the line. Pretty easy, just unscrew it on the valve side as well and put in a new one. But yeah, really easy. No reason to be scared of it. But yeah. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later.